So, communication skills is the topic that has been assigned to me today. And if my audience also communicates with me while I'm delivering this session, I would consider it to be a success. So, before I start with this session, we are all going to do a small exercise. All right. And the first part of the exercise is the first rule of communication is that people with whom you are communicating got to be visible to you, right? I am communicating with about 33 people, but nobody is visible to me. So, may I please expect all of you to appear on your screen so that I can actually see my audience? Thank you very much. That's really, really prompt of all of you. Yeah, now it's going to be fun, isn't it? I was actually talking to a wall before this, but seeing these wonderful receptive faces makes all the difference to the energy. Uh, Now we're going to do a very small exercise, okay? And after that exercise, I'm going to debrief you on something, and all of you can do this exercise in your classroom also. It'll be very productive there. So first, you can just understand the simple exercise, right? Then, of course, you would do it, and post that exercise, we are going to have some discussion over this. So to begin with, you all got to breathe, right? Like normally how you're breathing. You can breathe in and then breathe out, and you can do it twice, right? Just getting a feel of your breath. And then the third inhalation, when you do the third inhalation, alongside inhaling the breath, you're going to, go on your clock, right? Stopwatch. You all have a stopwatch in your mobile, and you're going to check for how long are you able to hold on to your breath. Okay? So one, breathing in, breathing out, inhalation, exhalation two, and then you inhale, right? And on the stopwatch, you will record for how long were you able to hold onto your breath. And obviously, post that, you're going to share with all of us that for how long could you hold on to your breath. And after this exercise, of course, we are going to discuss. Okay, so here we go, all of us. I know it's post lunchtime, not the best time for anybody to learn. So let us make it interesting, participative, zealous, so that we are all gaining a lot out of this session. Okay, so let us start. Inhale, everybody. Gently, you can exhale. Again, inhale. Gently, everybody exhale. And now when you inhale, you're going to switch on your stopwatch and let us see for how long are you able to hold your breath. Inhale, hold, and there goes your stopwatch recording the time for how long are you able to hold your breath. Whosoever exhales first, can switch off the stopwatch, and you can use the chat box to share with me for how long could you hold your breath. And mind you, it's not a competition, okay? Rajalakshmi ma'am says 10 seconds. Sudhi sir says 30 seconds. Doshi Dipali, I'm sure it's Dipali Doshi, it's 27.54 seconds. I'm impressed with the precision. 35, 24, Kirti ma'am, 16. Red going. Everybody, let us see. For how long were you able to hold your breath? Put the numbers in the chat box. Let's make it interactive. 28 seconds. Wonderful. Going is great, my dear friends. Keep going. 1 minute 5 second. Amit sir, are you practicing some yogic exercises? Fantastic. Jaideep Panjeta ji, 20
Yes, ma'am.
seconds.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, I can make out. No wonder you're able to hold it for 1 minute 5 seconds. Wonderful.
Ma'am, it's supposed lunch in the morning. I can hold 1 minute 30 second, 45 second.
Wow, that's really commendable, sir.
Thank you,
Okay,
ma'am.
so most of you, um, 13 seconds. Fantastic. No matter for how long could you hold it, it was just an exercise. Now tell me, everybody who inhaled, right? Whether you held it for 13 seconds, 50 seconds, 35 seconds, 40 seconds, we have a champion, 1 minute, 5 seconds. Ultimately, everybody had to exhale, isn't it? So there was a limit to for how long we can hold our breath, and post that it gets too much, and when it is too difficult to hold it, you got to exhale. Okay, now the same goes with teaching learning process also. When I'm sharing some information, some knowledge for you, aren't you taking in that information and knowledge? So that's your inhalation, right? And you process that information, you make sense of that information, you may agree, disagree with that information, right? Now, if you keep on inhaling, and holding on to what you're inhaling, you'll get choked. In other words, it is information toxicity that takes place, or there is information overload, data overload. So, it is so important that all of you respond, ask questions, engage, and participate whenever I'm asking you, requesting you to do that, because that engagement, that participation, that answering of the question becomes your exhalation, isn't it? So for teaching and learning process, if it is one way traffic, that the person who is taking the session is just on and everybody cameras off, doing their own stuff, not responding, not engaging, so I have no clue whether I'm making sense to you or not. Okay, a lot of you switched on the cameras and then suddenly disappeared. We only have one person who could sustain, that's Bhavin Mehta sir. Thank you, Bhavin sir, for sustaining, for being there still. Thank you, Samiullah Khanji. Just keep your cameras on. I mean, that makes it little more interactive. And please participate. Let's make it two-way traffic, because it's communication. And I'm going to drop a lot of important tips with all of you, that how you can enhance engagement with students also, right? So everybody, at the start of the session, you can probably do this exercise with your students, that it is very, very important for them to submit their assignments, be regular with their projects, and not just be passive recipients of the classroom teaching or the classroom sessions that you are delivering. All right. Okay. Now, there's a very powerful thing about communication, which I realized after I heard this, maybe quote or a single very wise thing in English. It goes like, see, everything that the human body releases, right? It is filthy, it is dirty, it is smelly. Anything and everything which comes out of our body, right? It's dirty. Whether it is spit, phlegm, our body waste, whether it is sweat, nothing that comes out of our body is pleasant. It's only the words that come out of our mouth we can actually speak pleasant and empowering and wonderful words. So language is the only thing that we as humans put into the universe and get out of ourselves, that can be empowering, that can be beautiful, that can be uplifting. Rest, anything that we are adding, anything that is getting released, like even carbon dioxide, I mean, we need oxygen, right? So communication or language is a very powerful but highly underrated tool. Somebody who can harness the power of communication, right, can make so much difference to others' life and to your life as well. And today's session is about how to harness the power of communication for your advantage, for your advantage in profession, for your advantage in your different relationships, right? So, language is unique only to human species, and it's the most underestimated and abused ability. Words have the power to heal or hurt. The only way we can connect effectively with each other is through effective communication. I think all of you agree with me on this. Yeah. Now, we all understand that when it comes to communication, there are three aspects. One is the source, the person who is, delivering or is the origin of communication. There is a channel or a medium on which communication travels, and certainly there are receivers, right? These receivers could be students, they could be your spouses, they could be your clients, they could be your partners, they could be your bosses, your subordinates, right? People working under you, with you, above you. So all these people are the receivers, isn't it? Now all these three aspects, and fourth aspect of course is the message, that is what is being said and how is it being said. These are very, very important aspects of communication. Now, always remember there are three key elements in communication, right? The first is the content. When I say content, it simply means what is it that you're delivering? What is it that you're sharing with your audience, right? If your content is not powerful, obviously there would be hardly any takers for that, right? So in a classroom, whatever you are delivering, you got to be appear to be an authority in that, isn't it? The sessions need to be well prepared, and the medium through which you're communicating with your students, language, etc., you need to be very refined with all that. So first thing in communication is the content. The second important thing is your tone in the communication, right? Are you commanding? Is your voice booming? Are you full of confidence, right? Are you sarcastic? Isn't it? Are you complaining? Oh, so your words may mean something, but if your tone is not aligned with what you want to say, definitely, and you all know it, that verbal communication is just about 10-15 parts. The rest is non-verbal communication, which is your body language, isn't it? So three things: the content, what is it to be delivered, that has to be in place. You can't go into the classroom without being prepared with your session, right? Then is the tone of your delivery. The tone will also be determined by one, who you are, what kind of a person you are, how much you love your job, how interested you are in delivering the session. Imagine you're very tired, you're quite bored, and you don't feel that the students are receptive. Yes, you will go mark the attendance, take the sessions, but the energy would be missing, isn't it? So how much committed you feel with your profession, how well you're received, or how important you are, how important the subject that you're teaching is considered by the students, right? And third very important thing is your body language. That's very, very important. Now, always remember the 1+1+1 rule. Okay, when you're communicating, or when you're forming an impression, right? 1+1+1 rule. Now I'm going to ask a question from all of you. Now people observe you. When I say 1+1+1, people observe you from 10 meters away, 10 feet away, and from the 10 first words that come out of your mouth. I repeat, people observe you from 10 meters away, 10 feet away, and from the first 10 words that come out of your mouth. Now, my question to all of you, what do you think people observe when they are 10 meters away from you? Yes, when they're about 10 meters away, what do they observe? Personality. Absolutely, ma'am. And ma'am, if I may ask you, What are those aspects of the personality that people notice? Appearance. Thank you for saying that. I wish people could see our hearts and souls, but no, they see how we appear, how well dressed we are, isn't it? So, when I talk about dressing up, I do not mean to say that you have to be clad in branded clothes or very expensive attires. No, just dress up like the 10 most authentic, probably most popular, probably most successful people in your career dress up. Isn't it? Because when you're dressed up well, people really see you as somebody who means business, right? Who is really serious about taking that session or that class, and they have completely come prepared and they're absolutely into that. So never ever be casually dressed whenever you're getting ready for the sessions. I know for sure that when you have special occasions in your colleges and institutions, like the annual day or you have some recruitment drives going on, don't we pull out the best clothes in our closet to wear on those days because we consider them to be very special occasions, right? The same goes for every single day in your profession, because when you're going for a job, right, and you're well clad, it seems like you're really, dressed up for the special occasion. That's taking classes, meeting your colleagues, be presentable in front of the everybody else, etc. Okay. Now, what people do you think observe in you when they're around 10 feet away from you? Not as close as, not as far as 10 meters, but not very close to you either. So, what is it that they observe? About 10 meters away? Oh, sorry, 10 feet away? You know the answer. Yes, anybody? Can you think of? Until you've spoken to somebody, what is it that you actually observe in that person? It's their body language, confidence, voice clarity. Thank you, Bhavanji. Absolutely bang on, right? How pleasant are they appearing? What are their facial, expressions? How is the body language? Some people are standing grumpy in one corner. You can observe that person and feel, no, 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 I can't approach this one. He is appearing to be very grumpy and tight-lipped. Gestures, absolutely, Sudhi sir. It is gestures, body language, how pleasant you are. There's a Chinese proverb which say that people who do not know how to smile should not open a shop, and teachers who do not know how to smile don't get into teaching profession, isn't it? So smile is a signature that you can wear anytime and every time, and at least your gestures can be very welcoming and pleasant, right? And third things come is your communication. That is what you speak, how respectful you are, how courteous you are, isn't it? And your choice of words and your demeanor, everything falls into that place, right? So, our body is a source which reflects authenticity. The more aligned our appearance, our body language, and our words are, which really come across to everybody as a very authentic and somebody who's really an authority in one's field. Okay, so do not underestimate the power of appearance, dressing up, tone, facial expressions, gestures, and of course, the elements of the content, the quality of the content that you're delivering. And trust you me, it will only happen if you like what you are doing. Isn't it? If teaching or your profession seems like a burden to you, then you really have to push every day and wear whatever and look however, isn't it? So the more we develop a likeness for our jobs that we are performing, the better dressed we would be, because we actually aren't, we would love to represent and show the best side of us each day to the world around us. All right. So this is very, very prerequisite, very basic rule of communication to appear pleasant and to dress up well. Okay. All right. Now, again, I love to engage everybody in certain activities, right? So now, again, all of you pick up a pen and a paper and follow my instructions. Okay, we are going to talk about how important clarity is in communication. How important it is for us to be very clear about what is it that we are delivering and the instructions that we give to people and the declarations that we make. So may I please request everybody to pick up pen and paper and just follow some simple instructions that I'm going to share with you. And when you're ready, just raise your hand. You can always write yes in the chat box, or you can just raise your virtual hand once you are all ready with your pen and paper. I'm waiting for you, for everybody, each one in the audience to get ready. Thank you, Solanki. Oh, Bhavna. Thank you, Bhavna, for a yes. How about others? Are you all ready with pens and papers? Thank you, Bhavin sir. Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Dipali. And thank you, Joy. Thank you very much. Now, there are very simple instructions and you just need to follow those instructions, okay? And now, the first is draw a circle. First thing that you need to do on the piece of paper is draw a circle, right? Then draw a line that passes through the circle. Draw a line that passes through the circle. Step 3, write letter A in the circle. Write the letter A in the circle. Simple? Now, may I please request everybody to switch on your cameras and just show me what have you drawn. Bhavin sir, of course, can do it the fastest. Rest of you, may I please request you to switch on your cameras and let us have a look at what you've drawn. Joy, a little on my right. Thank you. Dipali, I can't see. I am only seeing some Marathi written. Okay. Joy, keep holding. Keep showing that, please. Keep the camera on, Joy. Everybody, don't switch off the camera. Let's see what we have drawn. Let's compare. Okay. So please have a look at Joy's thing, at Anita ma'am's thing, Anusha. Okay. How about you, Bhavna ma'am? Bhavin sir? How about yours? Bhavin sir, I can't see very clearly. Bhavna ma'am? Okay, so what I'm trying to say is the instructions were the same, but is the output same for everybody, yes or no? Not at all. Same person gave the same instructions to all 41 people on the call. Thank you, Anita. Thank you so much, Anita ji, for sharing what you've drawn. But I assure you, no two people would have understood in the same manner. How many of you think, Meenu ma'am, thank you very much for switching on the camera. How many of you think it is something that has happened that you actually said something to people, but what you said and how they interpreted it were two entirely different things, and you were shocked to receive the results or to get the feedback or hear the response? Most of us have gone through that. Okay, so now it is so important for us to give very uniform, homogeneous, clear instructions for us to be able to receive the results that we desire, so that later on there is no blame game going on. Okay, and one of the best things to do to ensure that your communication, your instructions have been clearly received is asking for feedback. Isn't it? Asking from somebody, okay, tell me, what did you hear? Or inviting questions. Isn't it? I know you're all teaching adults and you're all a part of higher education systems, but many times in schools, especially, teachers snub questions. They are not very happy when children ask them questions. But questions is the only way that a receiver can get clarity on what is being expected from him. right? So especially with people who have very limited cognitive ability, like when I leave the house and I give my some instructions to my maid, or when I leave the house and I have to tell my son that, I'm leaving you with few jobs, get it done, I always ask them to repeat, what did you hear? Okay, what are you supposed to do? Or else there is a huge gap between the instructions that are provided and the output that has been generated. Okay, now let me precisely give you some instructions and let us see that some clarity in my instruction, if it is bringing some more clarity or some more homogeneity in the results. Okay, now same thing is to be drawn, but I would try to be more clear and more precise. Okay, now I want everybody to draw a circle of about 4 centimeter diameter on the left hand side of the paper, on the left corner, top left corner of the paper. Draw a circle of about roughly 4 centimeter diameter on the top left corner of the paper. Done. Now draw a horizontal line in the circle which cuts the circle through the center. Draw a horizontal line in the circle which actually cuts through the center of the circle, right? And write capital letter A in the circle in such a manner that the 3 corners of A is touching the circle. Write capital letter A in the circle in such a manner that 3 corners of A is touching the circle. Okay, now show me your results. Is there any similarity? Anita ma'am, I can't see what you have drawn. I can only see Dipali ma'am's. Yeah, now compare everybody. You can see everybody's, see how similar they appear. The sizes, where the line or the diameter is, how big or small the letter A is, isn't it? So better or more the clarity in your instructions, fantastic, thank you, right? Better it will be received and less will be the gap between what you said, what you shared, and what was the expected outcome. Okay, fantastic, thank you very much for participating in it, and I hope you would have got clarity there. Now, may I request somebody to share an anecdote or an experience where a gap in communication caused maybe, some discomfort or led to some kind of fiasco, and nobody, neither the sender nor the receiver, of course, were wrong, right? Anybody in your personal life or in your professional life, is there an incident that you can recall that what was being said was so different from how it was received and what came back was entirely different? Would anybody like to share something? I'm sure there must have been some anecdote, some incident, some event where communication gap led to either misunderstanding or something very unexpected. Nobody recalls that? All right. Okay. Now, please remember that when we say communication, normally we think it's about being a great speaker. It's about expressing. But let me tell you, the first rule of communication, of course, is to be a better listener than a speaker. One of the most sold books or bestseller books in the world is How to Make Friends and Influence People. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. One of the most sold book in the world. And Dale Carnegie, he narrates an incident. He says, I was invited to a house party, to a place where I was new. And everybody in that party, they were like strangers for me. And I was meeting them for the first time. So he said, I really did not know what to say and how do I make friends with them. However, he said, I enjoyed the party. And after the party got over, the host specially called up Dale Carnegie and said, Hey, what have you done to my guests, Dale? Everybody is talking about you and they are so full of you, and they have such good things to say about them. Carnegie smirked. He smiled at the end of the other line. He said, Trust me, I didn't say much. I only listened to them. Right? In this world where everybody wants to talk about themselves, there is a real dearth of listeners, my dear friends. Okay? And to really master communication, one of the most simplest thing that I can teach you, or a simplest tool I can ask you to recall, revive, is being a great listener. Ma'am introduced me. I come from psychology. I'm a trained psychologist, and you all know it. And in my profession, I am being paid to listen. I don't suggest. Psychologists do not suggest. They don't give unsolicited advice. We do not advise. We do not mentor. What do? We just do two things. We listen to the clients with earnest attention, right? And we ask them relevant questions. That's it. Because if Bhavin sir has come to me with some issue and a problem, and I tell them, okay, do this, do that, Are Baba, it is Bhavin sir's life. How do I know what's the best for him? He's a full grown adult. He knows what is right for him. We all know that subah jaldi utna chahiye. We all know it that we got to eat healthy food and we must do some exercise. What is it under the blue sky that we do not know? Isn't it? We all know it. We got to be courteous and nice to people around us. Yet we become rude, isn't it? So there is no dearth of knowledge, my dear friends. You don't need people to tell you, hammer those things again and again and again. We just need somebody who could help you recall it and, touch base with this knowledge, with this wisdom that is already there and give you those aha moments. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Isn't it? So, for that, first of all, you got to be great listeners. We think that, oh, if I'm listening too much and I'm not speaking, I'm missing some opportunities and chances. Not at all. I'll tell you when to talk also. But if you really want to create space, right? If you really want to be liked, let me tell you, right? Just master the art of listening. Okay? Before I get into how and what of listening, let me first tell you what are the kind of listeners we actually have who are just assuming they are listening, but they aren't. Okay? And I will ask you which category you fall in. The first kind of a listener is called as faker. He's only faking that, making eye contact and nodding and giving a occasional ha, hmm. But if you ask the faker, Acha, what did you hear? He won't know. He would have no idea, right? They are only pretending that they are listening. For most of the parents, I am a teen parent, our children are faking that they are listening. Oh, it is one of the most difficult thing for them to do. All right. The second one is called as interrupter. So this is the person who does not let anybody finish a sentence, and they have an opinion, right? They have an example. They have some more information to chip in. Can you imagine? There is one person who does not allow anybody to finish, does not allow anybody to, complete their sentence. How would it feel if there are one or two interrupters in a group? How would it feel? Please use the chat box and share it with me. That as you're about to speak or as you start speaking, there's somebody who has a truth bomb to throw. How would it feel? जवाब तो दे दो भाई. One would get so irritated. Isn't it?
Insulting.
Insulting. Thank you, ma'am. You are absolutely right. You feel, or I feel, or anybody would feel insulted. The third type of listener is called as a logical listener. These listeners are very busy interpreting, analyzing what the speaker has said. They use too much of their head, right? They'll keep correcting you, maybe so you mispronounce something, so they will correct you, right? Or they'll ask you more and more questions, which are totally baseless and useless questions, right? So there is a response always ready. So this one is called as a logicalness. No emotions involved, none whatsoever. Yes, this is my favorite. Doing one better. Now you say something to this listener, and they will say, "Arey, ye to kuch bhi nahi. You don't know what happened in my life. Mine is worse story than yours." These are the people who really want to steal the focus. They want the arc light to be on them. So when you say that, last night I was very uncomfortable, I had high fever. Oh, this is nothing. I was the throwing up also. My child was doing this also. Okay. So when you tell them that I had a very busy day today, I had a very hectic day today. This is nothing. If I tell you about mine, you'll be shocked. Yes. So when you encounter such a listener, how does it feel? Somebody is just doing one-upmanship with you throughout. How does it feel?
Annoying.
Annoying. Absolutely. It's so annoying. Do you wish to continue a conversation with such a person? No. You want to tell him, okay, you speak. You be on the podium, you take the gold medal for being the biggest sufferer in the world. Continue. You shut down. Right? Thank you. Then is the rebuttal maker. Now, this is the speaker who is only listening to you till the time he has not created a script in his head. That is, how am I going to counter this? So he is not listening, or she is not listening to you. Rather, in their head, they are constantly preparing themselves that the moment you stop, what am I going to say? Normally, when we pick up fights, we never listen to this person who is speaking, sharing, and submitting something. No, we are just busy that the moment you finish, I also have to remind you of a lot of things that you have done in the past. That is how the fights begin at a point, and by the time we are in the middle of it, we have completely lost the subject. Like, why did it start? Those of you who understand Hindi, they say कि गर्मी में पानी की बॉटल अगर फ्रिज से निकालते हो, दिस स्पेशली फॉर हस्बैंड्स, मेल इन द हाउस, गर्मी में अगर पानी की बॉटल फ्रिज से निकालते हो तो भर के वापस फ्रिज में रखो, नहीं तो झगड़ा पानी की खाली बॉटल से शुरू होगा और पता नहीं कहाँ पहुंच जाएगा. For those of you who do not speak English, if you are taking out a water bottle from the fridge in the summers, refill it, put it back, or else the fight will start from the empty water bottle and it will reach somewhere to your parents and her parents and this and that and whatnot. Because we are into rebuttal. The moment you say you stop, I'll tell you. Isn't it? So exponentially it grows. And the last one is called as advice giver. So this is the person who's always ready with suggestions. Again, हिंदी में बोलते और अदर पंजाबी में बोलते चाय और सलाह इंडिया में मुफ्त मिलती है. No matter where you go, a cup of tea and a bag full of suggestions. Completely free of cost. And again, I think Bhavin sir will agree with me. It is so annoying. Did I ask you? Yeah. What do you think? I have no idea about my life and what am I going through? So please resist the temptation of giving unsolicited advice, even if it's your child. Because one, okay, now I will not give the explanation. Again, I want to hear it from you. You're just sharing something with somebody and there comes a bag full of advice. How does that feel? Yes, anybody. How does that feel? Confusion. Absolutely right, Chaitanya. Because whatever the other person is saying may not be aligned with what you're thinking in that moment. Yeah? And sometimes we think, do you think I'm a fool? I don't know what is supposed to be done. Or we may feel, oh wow, how smart. As if I didn't know. Isn't it? So unless somebody asks you, earnestly asks you for advice, hold on. I'll give you a few more reasons why giving advice is not the best thing to do. Especially I'm talking about children. I have an 18-year-old son, a 3-year-old niece, and another nephew who's turning 13 now, right? And if they come to seek any help from me, my first question to them is, what do you think? Right? Or what made you think to come to me? Or what have you already done about it? So when I say, what do you think? I want these young adults and that little child to have a mind of their own. Isn't it? I don't want to give them a pre-prepared, ready to use solution, because I want them to grow up to become critical thinkers who can think for themselves. Okay, so rather than giving advice to people, you may listen to them, and if need be, please, as teachers and parents, as adults, as superiors, as leaders, you must learn the art of asking questions. Did you realize how many questions I have asked you just within these last 40 minutes of our being in this session? There are many, many reasons why do we need to ask questions in communication, especially when it is like teacher-taught relationship or a superior-junior relationship. See, when you ask questions, you're engaging people. I know a lot of you will not respond to my question, but at least you will think. And few of every time I ask a question, a new person responds. Isn't it that the audience engagement increase? So similarly in the classroom, when you're sharing a construct or a concept, with your children, with your students, ask a lot of questions. It's a great idea to start your presentation with also a question. Like when I give presentations, normally, I give presentations around corporate trainings and coaching, etc. So I would start with a question like, how many of you think you're the most important asset of your business? How many of you think you're the most important asset of your organization? How many of you do not think you're an important aspect or an important member of your organization? People think they respond yes, no. Isn't it? So it is so important to ask question one, it increases audience engagement. Second, you're making people think. Or else what is happening? You're giving just prepared information to them and you have no idea. The activity of the brain increases when you're asking questions. Okay, another person also gets a hint that you're actually interested in them. So I attend a lot of networking events, right? And I'm the one who's speaking the list. I'm only asking questions to know more and more and more about what are people doing, what professions are they in, how passionately they are doing what they are doing. And trust me, they remember me. And while we are parting, I say, by the way, I'm a psychologist and I work in this space and I work with people and I work on turning their potentials into reality. That's it. So when you ask question, when you get interested in other people's interest, oh, they love it. You're giving them importance. They feel so valued. Right? Now, in a nutshell, if I have to give you one major tip or secret about making lasting impressions, right? We all humans, we have some needs, okay? We have three basic physiological needs. We have three needs, very well heard of, very, very popular. What are those three basic physiological needs? There was a Hindi movie also made on that. Yes, you can unmute, say it, or you can use the chat box. Come on. What are the three needs I'm talking about? Roti kapda makan. Thank you, Bhavan for representing the whole group. What would I do without you? So similarly, as we have physiological needs, we all human beings have three psychological needs, right? That is to be heard, to be seen, and to be valued. May I request everybody to choose to, go to the chat box and write these three words down, heard, seen, and valued in the chat box so that you always remember this. And if you're feeling too lazy, you can just write HSV in the chat box. Heard, seen, and valued. Put it in the chat box, please, all of you. I'll explain this to you. This is... Don't be lazy, teachers. You can't do that. Come on. Thank you, Anita ma'am. Heard, seen, and valued. Right? HSV. Thank you, Anjana. Thank you, Bhavna. Thank you, Shiny, Krishna Shaji. Thank you very much. Vinu Babu, Chaitanya. Please remember that. So people want to be seen. So when, in communication, we maintain eye contact, we are making people feel seen. So when all of you disappear from the camera, you switch on your cameras and not feeling seen. Isn't it? Because I can't see a human responding back. But it's okay. We're quite used to do that. It's 4 years ever since we started doing these virtual sessions. Right? Shirisha, can you please switch off your... Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so maintaining eye contact, even with your students. Let us say, I'll give you one example. Let us say you're taking attendance and there was somebody who was absent for 4 to 5 days. You called out this child's name in the class. He said, present ma'am, or I'm there, sir. Yes, sir. Please, raise your eyes from the register, look into the child's eye and see, hey, where were you? I didn't see you for 4 days. We missed you in the class. Is all good? Oh, you turn the day for that child, that my teacher remember me being missing from the class, right? This is how, when you make people feel seen, right? Oh, you add there, enhance their self-esteem by these simple questions like, hey, where were you? So I go for regular meetings for something, I have some regular routines, and we are about 55 members, and I'm friends with at least 25 of them. If any one of those 25 people is not there in the meeting, I certainly come back and drop a message, hey, where were you? Missed you. It's a routine, and genuinely, it's not that, I'm just networking or anything. No. And promptly comes, oh, I was not good. I could not get up in the morning. Hey, thank you for asking. Thank you for remembering. That's how the bonds strengthen. Right? To be seen. The second part is to be heard. When people talk to you, please listen. All they are wanting, because when you're listening to somebody, you're investing your time and energy in that person. Right? And when you see people, you make them feel visible, and you hear people, you are making them feel valued. And always remember, people will not remember what you said. They will always remember how you made them feel. I repeat, people will not remember what you said. They will always remember how you made them feel. So anytime anybody responds, either on the chat box or verbally, did you notice I make it a point to acknowledge those people? Because you have added something to the session, isn't it? And being somebody who's hosting the session, it's my responsibility to acknowledge, appreciate that effort that you have put in. Not everybody did that, right? You did something extra. You did something different. You deserve to be mentioned, either verbally or appreciated for that. And do you think it costs something when we appreciate people? It does not. That's why I said everything that gets out of human body is dirty, filthy, useless. देखो, एनिमल्स के वेस्ट का ना मेन्योर बनता है, एनिमल्स की स्किन का लेदर बनता है. They are, even their waste is useful. And human beings, they're only adding waste to the environment. Right? We burn our bodies or we bury our bodies, right? And our feces and our excreta, it's just adding pollution to the planet Earth. So very nicely put, banda sab to ganda. We are the most selfish species who only think about ourselves, never about other species, never about the environment. We hoard and keep more than what we want, isn't it? We have gone far beyond the needs. We are so much into greed. So words are the only things, my dear friends, that can hurt or heal. So whenever you have a choice, be a motivator, be an uplifter, be a cheerleader and a supporter to somebody. You just have to speak well to that person. How much does it take? Also, please remember when it comes to human relationships, because communication is a bridge. Remember that. Communication is a bridge which connects people to people. Isn't it? Let us suppose, something happens to the internet just now. So I would stop communicating because the medium is gone and definitely my message does not reach you. Connection snapped, over, finished. Right? So now, please always remember 3 A's of communication. When you're communicating with somebody, remember 3 A's. First A is attention. When somebody talks to you, or two are talking to somebody, please make them feel attended to. Invest a little. The second A of communication is appreciation. Be nice to people. Yeah, say good things about whatever you see is present, right? All the peons, the safai karamchari, the guards, they are the happiest with me because I acknowledge what they are doing. Imagine if you and I are absent one day or 4 days or 7 days in the college, it's not going to make any difference. It's just that the syllabus will suffer. Imagine if the PN does not come for 7 days, the Safai Karamchari does not come for 7 days, isn't it? The guard does not come for 7 days. Who will give you tea for 7 days? Who will clean your toilets and the institution for 7 days? You and I will have to live in that dirty, environment. Right? Appreciate people. And it speaks volumes about your character. How do you talk to people who are less powerful than you? Right? And third thing is affection. Be affectionate here. Why? Where is the need to be rude and curt and, cynical while you're communicating? Why? So, trust me. बोलते हैं अगेन हिंदी में बोलूंगी इंसान हो या दुकान असलियत क्या उसकी तभी पता चलता है जब शटर खुलता है. Whether it's a human or a shop, the moment you open the trap, the shutter, get to know what's inside you. That's the power of communication. I trust me, we take it very, very lightly. But whatever you say, people take it very seriously, mind you. Right? So you also start being very mindful of your communication. And sometimes before saying certain things to somebody, just pause and just check. What if this same thing I hear from somebody about me? Whether I would be able to like it? Will I be able to appreciate it? If yes, say that. If no, reframe it. I don't mean to say that doesn't mean that you got to communicate unpleasant things. We have to give feedback. We have to kind of do some difficult conversations too. Right? But how do we do those conversations? What words do we choose? How do we start it? What is the intent behind it is extremely important. Okay? Also, one more tip and then we'll move further. I said communication is the bridge, right? Now my question to all of you. What's the first thing we do when there's a tiff between us and someone else? You had a fight with somebody. What do we do immediately after that? Most of the times, what is it we do? We had a massive fight with somebody. Unmute and speak up, or you can use the chat box. So you fought with your brother or your colleague or your parosi, neighbor. What happens? Ah, lovely. Thank you, Anita ma'am. We stop communicating. Isn't it? So now when you stop communicating, what have you done? Let's forget everything. Krishna sir, if you can do that, wonderful. Right? But most of us, we keep the grudges and the resentment. Talk with others. Yes, Anjana ma'am. How stupid of us, na? If Anjana ma'am has a problem with me and she is telling Bhavna ma'am and Bhavan sir and Krishna sir and Sandeep Bajaj sir, what's the point here? You have a problem with me? Tell me. Or if I have a problem with her, what's the point telling it to everybody but her? Talk to the person you have an issue with, na, rather than backbiting, bitching, and telling the whole world. And this person getting to know about you saying something about him or her from somebody else. My God, how complicated the matter will become. Yeah. So you stop talking to that person, or I stop talking to that person, and rather now I'm talking to everybody and telling what happened. How does that help? It even sours the relationship. right? And when the gap between the two of us has increased a lot, that is, you haven't really spoken for days and then weeks, right? Then, you have lost touch and now you don't have the courage to bring the conversation or to reach out to that person. I've seen, heard brothers or siblings had a tiff, did not speak to each other for some time. Weeks became months, became years, and then they only met after 10, 15 years when one of the parent passed away. What's the point? Lost so much in life. Yes? So come what may. You have a fight with somebody, at least don't stop talking. Right? And keep discussing things in a courteous manner, in a manner that you're looking for resolution and not who's right. Isn't it? There are two things: who's right and what's right. So, what will you choose? Who will you choose to be? Somebody who is always right or somebody who's choosing what is right? Because there's no guarantee that I'm always right. How can I be always right? Isn't it? So, little silly things that we do, they compound to become big. And we lose friends, we lose relatives, we lose close relationships, we make our relationships sour. What is the point? See, we all have shelf lives, right? We are here on this planet for a limited period of time. Let's make the best of it, na? Why keep resentments? And why become a very suspicious or vehement or rude kind of a person who everybody detests? No, be pleasant, be approachable, be available to people around you. Remember, my dear friends, you will always be remembered for what you give and not for what you have taken. So, give respect, give love, share affection. It takes nothing. And this is what I have learned in about 2.5 decades of my career. It takes nothing to appreciate somebody. It takes nothing to make somebody else the star. Trust me. Stop craving for the arc light. Start giving it. I promise you, Newton's law, what goes around comes around. Isn't it? Somebody's dying for arc light, somebody's dying for attention, public eye, give it. Stand up and speak good about that person. Ja khush rahe. This person is so full of you, I promise you, they'll speak good while you're not around. They'll defend you in your absence. So important. Okay? So keep in touch with people who really matter to you. Don't lose on people just because you have taken them for granted. Isn't it? Oh, mummy, ये तो अपनी है. Sister, brother, अरे ये तो अपने, ये कहाँ जा रहे? Husband, wife, ये तो बिल्कुल ही अपने. इसलिए इनसे तो बात ही मत करो. Don't talk to them only. Don't do that mistake. I told you our shelf lives are limited. Yes, keep communicating. Stay in touch with people who really matter to you. Drop random text. I have this habit, I would just drop random text to somebody. Hi, good morning. I was just thinking about you. Genuinely, I thought about that person. And trust me, my dear friends, you can search me on Google. I have never marketed myself or sold myself, like an SEO or something of that sort. No. All the clients that I've received till date is through word of mouth, referral partners. I tell them you're my referral partner. Because, the clients turn into associates and associates sometimes turn into friends and they speak for you. Oh, I went to her. I'm feeling so much better. Call her. Go to her. Right? It's all communication. How genuine you are with people and how you make them feel and how you make them feel valued and heard and seen, right? And you are interested into their interests. You ask them a lot of questions with genuine interest, like, oh, wow, really? Yeah, appreciate them for what they are doing. Sorted. Okay. Now, first of all, let us pause and figure out which kind of a listener are you? Are you a faker, an interrupter, a logical listener, do one better, rebuttal, or advice giver? Who are you? Think about it. And if you're courageous enough, just put it in the chat box also. What kind of a listener are you? What mistake you realize you've been doing in listening? Logical listener. Okay. All right. Don't try that with your spouse, Bhavin. It can be very disheartening for the spouse. Shiny also says logical listener. Okay. Thank you. You've really been honest, both of you. Thanks a lot. Yes, how about others? Okay, what has been the realization? God damn it, yeah, people do this. Oh, yeah, you're right, ma'am. This is not supposed to be done. Yes, any light bulb moment for anybody so far? कह रही है ऐसा थोड़ी करना चाहिए, ऐसा करना चाहिए.
How can we change our personality?
Bhavan sir, we can't change our personality. We can bring about little changes in our behavior that we realize are not very effective, right? And those change in behaviors, when practiced over a long period of time, they start reflecting in our personality, right? For example, if you can think of something which is irking you, you can share it with me and let us say if we can find some alternative to that.
Not exactly right now.
Okay, all right, right? So just figure it out that what is it that someone is doing or I'm doing that I feel is not very effective, right? And how can I break it down to habits or everyday things that I do, right? And let me start tweaking those everyday things that I do. Like for example, when people say that I can't get up early in the morning, I say you don't have to. Let us say you're getting up at 9 o'clock. You can't start getting up at 5, right? The best thing to do is start getting up at 8:45 for few days. Then make it 8:30, 8:15, 8 o'clock. So gradual changes sustained over a longer period of time. Okay? All right. Thank you for asking that question, Bhavan sir. Okay, yes. Now let us quickly understand how do we listen in a non-judgmental manner. Say, as I said, give attention. ये जो यंत्र है ना, this 6 inches gadget, it is one of the biggest spoiler. So when somebody talks to you, please put it upside down and give undivided attention, whether it's your children, your spouse, your colleague. Imagine when your boss talks to you, do you look into the mobile? Do you engage in the screen then? You dare not. Yeah, because your boss will get offended. But when it comes to children, spouses, subordinate, even sometimes students, we don't even look up and address. Okay, so please give attention, right? And even through your body language and your facial expression, don't exude judgment. Again, I'll take the example of my profession. You know, we as psychologists, people don't come to us when they're happy. They come to us when there is trouble. Yeah, there is something very difficult that they are going through in their lives. Isn't it? And trust me, I hear this sentence at least 5 to 6 times in the days. Ma'am, I'm going to share something with you, but please don't judge me for that. I said, be rest assured, we are trained not to judge. We are trained to listen to you in the most non-judgmental, empathetic manner so that I can feel your pain and your concern becomes mine. And together we become partners so that we are able to find a solution and then you're able to execute the solution. Right? So not even through the facial expressions. Few days ago, a 15-year-old girl came to me straight from her gynac. She just had an abortion. And she was so upset, shattered, because after she broke the news to her boyfriend, he stopped picking her calls. Whom does she go to? Can she tell her parents that I'm pregnant? Managed it herself, came to me, told me this is what has happened. Now, at that moment, my job was not to judge her, but to allow her to share the grief, the resentment, the disappointment, the guilt that she was going through, to get involved with the boy who couldn't care less. Right? So giving a non-judgmental space to people, a safe space to people where they could just be themselves, and you don't judge them. Rather, I always say that when two human beings, like especially in my profession, people share such intimate, vulnerable things with a professional that I feel it is sacred. That conversation is sacred for me. And so many times, I would feel like I should remove my slippers because somebody is sharing one's vulnerabilities, their highs and lows, the most difficult emotional stuff that they are going through. Right? And normally, what do we do when some advice, solutions, corrections, hang on? One more sentence I'm going to share with you, and please jot it down if you're making any notes. It is connection before correction. भाई कनेक्ट तो कर लो सामने वाले के साथ, अपने बच्चे के साथ, अपने स्टूडेंट के साथ, अपने कॉलीग, अपने सबऑर्डिनेट के साथ, फिर करो करेक्शन. Just because you are superior in terms of the seat you hold or the title that you wear or maybe age that you are at, it does not entitle you to start correcting people and giving them solutions and advice and become a mentor. No. You first have to create that space in that other person's life that they feel that, yeah, you are worthy enough to be trusted, right? To be, you are an authority enough in your field that, they will come and seek your suggestion. Isn't it? So respect cannot be commanded, my dear friends. You got to be worthy of that. Another very beautiful quote that I heard, and and it really resonates with me. I really want all of you to pay attention because it has impacted me as a professional and as a person also. Dr. Wayne Dyer is the one who's the speaker, quote unquote. The sea lies low, but all the rivers flow towards and into it. Isn't it? What I'm trying to say is that, we all wish to brag, speak, let the world know what are we doing, who are we, blah, blah, blah. Right? And one thing that is distant away from us is humility. Look at the sea, the ocean. It lies the lowest. We measure the height from sea level, my dear friends. And lying lowest means it is so humble, yet all the rivers flow to and then into it. That's the power of humility, courteousness, being respectful towards other people and being mindful of their boundary and their space. You will be revered as a person. Okay? So listen non-judgmentally and listen with empathy. When somebody shares something, show that you are interested. Focus on the feelings, right? All the logical listeners, please be empathetic also. Not that I'm pointing out, right? It's just a kind of, it just struck me. So you say things like, oh, I understand. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, it would have felt so difficult. Like this girl I'm sharing, she was in so much of physical and mental pain. So constantly when she was sharing this, I said, oh, you must be so heartbroken. I can understand how guilty does it feel to get indulged in a, with a person in a premature manner. I can understand you must be feeling like, you have cheated your parents, isn't it? So attaching emotional labels to whatever is happening. And third very important thing is show interest. Eye contact, keep nodding, right? And saying, oh, yeah, you're there, asking questions. What is bothering you? What did you like the most? What do you think about it? And then long pauses so that people can think. Now remember, communication is not about starting and finishing a sentence, isn't it? It's about letting people process what is being said. So that's why I said your tone really matters. Content really matters. And so does your body language because it adds really matlab, your body language and your tone is like a testimony to the content that you are presenting to the people, isn't it? So I'll give you some more examples. So when my clients come to me, I'll give you more examples of clients. It could be students also. So imagine that there is a client who's very, very anxious, right? They would open the door, slam open the door, right? Because they were running late. Sorry, ma'am. I was just wanting to come. Hello, ma'am. I will match up the energy. Oh, you're here. Good to see you. Great. Please have a seat. That's how I address them. I got to match with their energy. Their anxious energy and my excitement energy have to go hand in hand. Okay? And there would be clients who are really depressed. Hi, ma'am. How are you? I'm fine. How are you doing? How have you been? Isn't it somebody's going through grief? They had a death in the family. They are coming for grief counseling. Hi, how are you? How insensitive of me if I kind of address that person in this manner. Isn't it? I have to sense the energy of my colleague, my husband, my child, clients, students, and that then try to match up with that energy. And that makes me a very, very authentic listener and a very respected communicator. I'm really liked by people. And when I say I mean someone who is kind of adhering to these notes and these principles that I've just shared with you. And these are the few reasons why people do not understand others. Okay? One is fear of judgment. I mean, you're so overpowered by your own fears that you're not giving attention to someone else. Or you're a very self centered person. You're just interested in your interest. Often in networking events, you people also must be going to conferences and other places where other teachers and faculty members they all converge, right? So those places, everybody is interested in telling what do they do. You know, we all behave in a in a self-centered manner, right? The key is to allow other people to speak first and then your turn and then take full advantage of your turn, right? And third important reason why communication falls apart or we are not able to express ourselves the way we must, that is called as provincialism. That is, we are not able to appreciate differences, recognize and respect that other people can be different from us, their language can be different, their preferences can be different, and we don't give benefit of doubt to other people. We are very judgmental, very quick to judge. ऐसा करा होगा, ऐसा करा होगा, ऐसा लगा होगा. We make so many assumptions, right? So just overcome these things gradually. Start giving benefit of doubt to other people, get interested in other people's interest, allow them the space to speak first, and once they have vented out and shared, now ask for their permission. Okay, am I allowed to speak now? Is it my time to speak now? Can I share something about myself also now? They'll be happy to listen because you have given them the fair share of time and space for them to express themselves. All right, so these were the little things that I wanted to share with all of you. I hope all of you found today's session useful, right? But before I close this session, I really want all of you to share either verbally, like you can switch on your mic and tell me what is it that is your take home from the session, or you can use the chat box and share the biggest learning of the day with the rest of the group. Honestly, I'd be very happy if you can switch on your mic and switch on your camera, come on screen and share. Was the session useful? If yes, then what was the most, useful part of today's session? What's that one take home that you're carrying back from this session? Yes. Who's starting? Who's the first one to go? कुछ सीखा कि 1.5 घंटा आपका बर्बाद हो गया, बेकार हो गया आज? What happened? Krishna Shaji? Yes, would you like to share something? Yes, dressing up well and a smiling face.
Am I audible to you, ma'am?
Absolutely, ma'am.
Okay, madam, one thing I want to share with you whenever you told that always maximum questioners should be there when we are talking with our students. But if we are going like this, we cannot able to complete our syllabi. Because whenever you are allowing student to ask every time, so they will take you lightly. And every time it is not possible. Naturally, once in a week, you can go through this. You can ask the questions to the students, but not in every lecture. I think it is not possible for us.
Perfect, ma'am. Absolutely, I agree with you. My job was to give you some suggestions, right? And your job is to customize those suggestions if you find them useful, right? To customize those suggestions and use them as per or in the most effective manner that you think. That's it. If you can't do it every day, I respect that, I honor that. But if you feel that doing it once a week is going to add something to your session, please add that. So I'm
Okay.
with you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.